Hey woodcutters, Jonathan here at TopSaw. In this video I'm going to go over the new Stihl lightweight bar. I'm putting it on my 362. It's a 25-inch bar. It's replacing this old one, pretty worn out, but I also smashed it, so I'll go over that in this video. Um, and really that Stihl 362 is basically the smallest big saw you could climb with or the biggest small saw you could climb with. No. Yeah. All right. So let's go. So this is my 362. This is really a fantastic saw. I can basically do any climbing, kind of any pruning or removal with my 200T and the 362. I usually run a 25-inch bar on the saw. I do have, I even run a 36 on it when I go really big, but I usually go to the 461 from there. So I did smash this thing pretty good. There's a handle. Can you see it? That's the broken handle. And I also smashed the bar on it too. It's kind of a good story, I guess. A good story to learn from my mistake. But this did get me to buy a brand new bar for it, which I don't really mind doing because that sprocket tip's pretty worn out. And then those edges are pretty mushroomed. They could get filed off. But this bar's got some miles on it. So I'm happy to replace it. I'm excited to try out this new lightweight bar. I think so. Here's the new bar right here. It's pretty expensive to say the least. It does go. It fits on it's 3/8 inch, 50 thou gauge. Fits on a 291, 311, 361, 362, 391, 440, 441, 400, 461. And I guess it'll even fit on the 600 series as well. It does have that E-matic additional way to get bar oil on the bar better. Sit here, sprocket tip, really nice and clean. Here there's the bar oil points, and those are the specs on the bar. So we'll put it on there and then try it out. Well, as I put this new bar and chain on, I'll also tell the story of how I smashed it in the first place. So I fell in a big black oak leaning over a barn. I used my big shot, put a rope in the big shot, put a rope in the tree with the big shot pretty high up, 2/3 of the way up. It did have a big lean towards the barn. And then I tied it to my truck. So we're going to face cut it, come through the back a hair, and put pressure on it with the truck. So it's leaning way down over the barn. We start face cutting it with this 362, and I cut too deep into the face cut, and the thing just sits right down onto the saw and pinches it there, and there's no way I can get it out. But just as that happens, the tree starts to creak. So we face cut it with another saw up above, and then on that face saw cut up above, barely anything's cut, and it's creaking and creaking. So I just yank it with my truck and break it, keeping it off the barn. But the whole butt comes down and just smashes the saw. I didn't see it because I was driving the truck. And I feel bad smashing the saw. And it could have been prevented, not face cutting so deep to start with. But I'd much rather replace parts on the saw than replace the barn. So even though it was a little bit of a mess, and it did smash the handle and the bar, and it looks like kinked this chain as well, because it was worn out. The handle, actually, the replacement handle wasn't so expensive, so I don't mind replacing that. Certainly better than having to go to the homeowner and, I don't know, re-side the barn. It could have made a hell of a mess of the barn. So it's not that big of a deal smashing the saw. My mistake, of course, was I just cut too deep on that face. I really should have stopped early. You really don't want to do that third face cut, a third of the diameter face cut. You only want to go a quarter or less or a teeny bit and come through the back, put tension on it. But that's the way it goes in tree work. Another day of tree work is good to be alive. All right, I think I'm going to replace this chain as well. Okay, actually, before I put the new bar and chain on, I'm going to change the drive sprocket. Actually make a cool little C-clamp tool for this, which is a better way to do it than this. So that's the C-clamp. That comes off. That sprocket comes off. Here's a new one. You'll probably be able to see the wear on that. It's a new sprocket. Put that C-clamp back on. Yeah, I mean, it's almost impossible. So a 3 right there is 50 gauge. A 6 right there is 63 gauge. Use my TopSaw here, chainsaw tool I invented. Put a little more leverage on that. Oh, nice. Oh, I don't know. Can you see that balance? That's the difference. Right there on that bar, it's an even balance. So with that heavy bar, it tipped down a little bit. Seems like a small thing for overall weight. It might not be that big of a issue for overall weight, but that balance is sweet. would give this Stihl Rollomatic lightweight bar 10 out of 10. I absolutely love this thing. I had pretty high expectations for it, but it actually worked out even better than I was expecting. The balance on it just sizes it up perfectly in the tree. On the ground, falling cuts are easier. It's a 25-inch bar on the 362. Alright, well, if you like this video, hit like and think about subscribing. This channel's for woodcutters, whether you're cutting trees, milling lumber, or working in the wood shop. It's all things wood. So I appreciate you watching. If you've ever used one of these lightweight bars, I'd love to hear your comments down in the comment section. But man, I think I'm going to look into replacing some other of my chainsaw bars with these lightweight ones. I got that 395 right there, that Husky 395. It's a beautiful saw. It's kind of my felon saw with a full wrap. I got a 28-inch bar on there. Sometimes I run a 36 on it, but I'm going to look into a lightweight bar for that.